The girl who initially accused my brother and I of human trafficking 3.5 years ago has just admitted to DCAW that she was paid in advance before she made the police report, $100,000 to make the report, and the money came from a USAID-funded NGO designed to combat human trafficking. Why would you pay somebody before they make a police report, $100,000, to combat human trafficking unless you were actually trying to set us up? She then admits that after she took the money, she flew here, made the police report, and after only 3 days in Romania, she was flown to the south of France. The flights, hotels, and budget for her stay there was all paid for by the same NGO. And we have the paperwork.
Allegedly claimed that the woman who accused the Tate brothers of human trafficking admits she was paid $100,000 by a U.S.-funded NGO before filing charges. However, American political commentator Candace Owens expressed her frustration over what she sees as hypocrisy from certain Zionist sympathizers who she claimed demanded U.S. government intervention against Andrew Tate upon his return to American soil despite no conviction against him. She noted the outrage over Tate's past statements, such as calling himself a pimp, being used to justify action against him, while those same individuals now urge the public to move on from Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted offender with alleged ties to blackmail operations.
I watched the Zionist sympathizers demand that the government get involved to deal with Andrew Tate when he, as an American citizen, landed on American soil. Government, help us. Has Andrew Tate been found guilty of anything? No. But no, like, he's a bad guy because they're looking into him. And there are these clips I can show you of Andrew Tate saying that he's a pimp. And so that should be enough. Government, get involved, get him out of here, even though he's an American citizen. Remember that? And then actually now those same people are saying Epstein, who was actually convicted of crimes and against minors, just move on. Okay. So what? Maybe he's holding a whole blackmail. Just let it go. We've got bigger fish to fry. I'm getting whiplash. All I'm saying is I'm getting whiplash. And I found it very interesting when Andrew Tate tweeted that he has now official proof that some of these women that have come forward were being paid by non-governmental organizations, by NGOs, that say that they're combating human trafficking.
Andrew Tate stated that the woman who first accused him and his brother of human trafficking admitted to D.C. that she was paid $100,000 in advance before filing the police report by a USA-funded NGO supposedly meant to combat tracking. He questioned why anyone would be paid that much before making a report unless it was a setup. Tate added that after taking the money, the woman flew to Romania, made the report, and within 3 days was flown to the south of France with all expenses, flights, hotels, and budget covered by the same NGO, claiming they have the paperwork to prove it.
The girl who initially accused my brother and I of human trafficking 3.5 years ago has just admitted to DCAW that she was paid in advance before she made the police report, $100,000 to make the report, and the money came from a USAID-funded NGO designed to combat human trafficking. Why would you pay somebody before they make a police report, $100,000, to combat human trafficking unless you were actually trying to set us up? She then admits that after she took the money, she flew here, made the police report, and after only 3 days in Romania, she was flown to the south of France. The flights, hotels, and budget for her stay there was all paid for by the same NGO. And we have the paperwork.
Andrew Tate became one of the most talked about figures in recent years. His bold opinions, flashy lifestyle, and controversial statements made him a widely known name online. However, one of the biggest events in his life involved a serious legal issue that began in 2022. Andrew and his brother Tristan were accused of human rape and forming an organized crime group. This case gained international attention with news outlets, influencers.
Prosecutors in Romania have filed formal charges against the controversial influencer Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan, and 2 Romanian associates. The charges include rape, human trafficking, and forming an organised crime group, as well as illegally accessing a computer system and violence against one of the alleged victims. The indictment deposited with the Bucharest court says that at the beginning of 2021, the 4 defendants formed an organised criminal group to commit human trafficking in Romania, but also in other countries such as the United States and Britain.
The situation started in Romania, where Andrew and Tristan were living. Authorities in the country launched an investigation into the 2 brothers. The Romanian Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, known as DIOT, led the case. In December 2022, police raided Andrew Tate's home in Bucharest. Videos of the raid were shared widely online. Andrew and Tristan were arrested along with 2 Romanian women. The charges were serious. The brothers were accused of forced...
The Matrix has attacked me. This way?
According to the Romanian authorities, the Tates and their group targeted vulnerable women. These women were promised love, wealth, and a better life. But once they arrived, the authorities claimed the women were pressured into creating adult content for profit. Romanian prosecutors believe the brothers used the loverboy method, which means pretending to be in a romantic relationship to gain trust and control. After this emotional control was built, the women were allegedly manipulated into producing videos for...
Andrew and Tristan Tate have been charged with over 20 offences in the UK, including rape, human trafficking and controlling prostitution. According to reports emerging in the Telegraph newspaper, Andrew faces 10 charges against 3 women, while his brother Tristan faces 11 charges linked to one of the same alleged victims. A European arrest warrant has also been issued, but the pair must first face separate proceedings in Romania. The Crown Prosecution Service is warning the public not to share anything online that could prejudice the trial. The brothers deny all charges in both countries.
At the heart of the case were 6 women who claimed they were victims. These women said they had been brought to Romania under false promises. Once there, they were forced to live in houses monitored by security cameras. They claimed they were watched all the time and were not free to leave. The Romanian prosecutors argued that this setup allowed the Tates to control the women physically.
I was scared to death. I was terrified that I might die.
Stern saying in the lawsuit what started as consensual sex in the early hours of March 11th turned more violent as she begged Tate to stop. Stern's attorney Tony Busby also providing NBC News with these photos, not in the lawsuit, alleging they show the initial bruising on her face. The lawsuit saying she was later diagnosed and treated for post-concussion syndrome. NBC News reviewed parts of Stern's hospital discharge paperwork confirming her diagnosis. Stern also filed a report with police on March 24th.
I was just terrified of him. I mean, he's a very wealthy, very powerful person. And once he left the country, I did feel a sense of security, and I felt like, you know what, this isn't right, and I do need to take the power back in my life, and I felt safe.
The case shocked many people because Andrew Tate had built a huge following online. He became famous for speaking openly about male empowerment and success. He often spoke against government systems, feminism, and what he called the Matrix. Because of this, many of his fans believed he was being targeted. Supporters said that the charges were a setup designed to silence him. On the other hand,